What's going on, guys, and welcome to a brand new series here on the channel. Brand new series. We are going to be managing Hertha Berlin on Football Manager 2019. The game came out yesterday, so I'm still getting to know the menus and the way the game works. In fact, I haven't even played a game yet, to be honest. But we're just going to get into it. We're going to decide to do Hertha Berlin. This year on the game, they have licensed the Bundesliga. Now, I have also gone ahead and downloaded the patch, which enables you to have the German national team in the game, as well as the Japanese team. But and it also corrects names on competitions. For example, we've got the Pokal now rather than just the German Cup. Why Hertha Berlin is this team obviously is based in Berlin, and there is two teams in Berlin, two professional teams. There is Hertha Berlin and there is Union Berlin. There are some German teams in the lower, some teams from Berlin in the lower divisions, but they're the two main teams. But this is a team from the capital city of the major economy in Europe. This team could be huge, absolutely huge. Bayern Munich is obviously king in Germany, but Hertha Berlin, I believe, could be absolutely enormous. I mean, the capacity of the Olympiastadion is just under 75,000. Which is just enormous. They don't own the stadium, they only rent it. Of course, the stadium is an Olympic stadium. It doesn't have a running track, but it's a stadium that's hosted World Cup finals, Champions League finals. Because of its sheer size in real life, Hertha Berlin don't get enormous attendances, and that can lead to the stadium feeling quite unatmospheric. I've experienced this myself. I have been to Berlin. I have seen Hertha Berlin play, and the stadium was rather empty on that game because it was a Europa League game against Zoya something from Ukraine. But still, Hertha Berlin is a club that's got absolutely enormous potential. I mean, in the game, the projection for the balance in the future is, I mean, in 3 years' time, you're looking at just under £43 million to spend. The Bundesliga is an extremely wealthy league. I mean, you win the league, you get just under £97 million, as well as European money. So Hertha Berlin, I believe, are an potentially enormous club. Going into this save, the squad is actually, again, I've made no signings. All I've done is the initial meetings, but the actual squad has got not that many weaknesses. And they've got a good balance of youth and a good balance of senior players. So throughout today's episode, we're going to be talking about who's in the squad and getting familiarised with ourselves with that squad, who might potentially become a key player for us in the future, for this season and in the future. The keeper is an excellent goalkeeper, very experienced German keeper, and then Thomas Kraft as a backup keeper. He was their number one keeper a couple of seasons ago, but then Jahrstein came in. But so they've got a couple of decent keepers there. Nothing needs to change immediately. I mean, 33 and 29. They're not especially old for goalkeepers. I mean, Jahrstein's pushing it a little bit, but still, there's no need to run out and sign a keeper immediately. Karim Rekic is an outstanding centre-back who'll be first-choice centre-back this season. As regards to who he's partnered with, probably will end up being Nicholas Stark, because he's another very good defender. Can't really head too well, particularly for a Bundesliga level player, but potentially that's something we can work on in the training. Tonoriga is a good young centre-back who's come through the Hertha Berlin Academy. He's also someone who's got very high potential as far as I'm concerned. I mean, his attributes are already there, and he's only 20 years old. He will turn into a sure thing starter before you know it. This player, I'm not too familiar with him, on loan from PSV Eindhoven. He can also play centre-back. He looks like a very well-rounded ball-playing centre-back. And they've got Peter Petkovic is out injured at the moment. Mitchell Weiser was the right-back, but he'd been sold to Bayer Leverkusen. So they're now lacking him. But they've got Petkovic, who's out for 3 months potentially. So right-back would be an issue, but they brought in Lukas Klunter. Probably pronounced that wrong. I do apologise. My pronunciations aren't the best, particularly with the Germans' names. He looks a solid player, but they've also got Valentino Lazaro, who is normally a winger, but they've actually playing him at right back this season in real life, and that's reflected in the game. He's actually a very good complete wing back. So we've got a decent set of right backs on us, on our hands. Left back, we have Plattenhut, who's currently on holiday, but he is an outstanding left back, and he should be pushing number one starting left back for Germany. He is very, very good. Maximilian Mittelstadt is a very adequate backup left back. Again, he's only 21 years old. He could develop into the first choice left back before you know it. Moving into the midfield, players who I'm particularly excited about. We've got Arnie Meyer. He's only 19 years old. This guy, I think, is going to become a huge player in the future of German football. Duda is having an outstanding season in real life. He can't stop scoring. And you've got Darida. Darida is going to be a very good player. He's out injured for 3 months, but he's a very good player. 27 years old, very experienced. Who else we got? We've got... there's players like Lustenberg and Skelbred, but I don't see them being particularly long-term parts of what we're going to do here. Delrasoon was someone they brought in from Manchester City in the summer. Looks again a very good left winger. He's had a big upgrade on last year's game because he has started really well for Hertha Berlin. Solomon Kalou is a name I'm sure everyone's familiar with, former Chelsea player. He can obviously play on the wings, either wing or striker position. He's going to be very helpful to have around at 32 years old, very experienced player. Now, of course, they have got some other young players in the likes of Sinan Kurt and Palko Dardai, the former. He's the son of the previous coach who I've just replaced. He's someone who was initially listed up for loan, but I changed that. I don't want him loaned out. I want to use him this season. He's 19 years old. He can become a part of our squad. A player's name who I'm not going to try and pronounce his surname, so we'll call him just Dennis. Dennis is a winger/striker who is again very, very young. So they've got a lot of youth, a lot of youth at this club, which is again complemented by the experience of Ibisevic, a 33-year-old Bosnian striker who's just been around for absolutely ages in German football, and he knows how to score goals. So he is going to be the guy who we're looking to lead the youngsters. Davy Selke is out injured again for another couple of months. He's someone they brought in from Red Bull Leipzig, RB Leipzig, and he's potentially going to be the first choice striker, but obviously he's out injured for a bit. So Ibisevic will start, but Selke will take over that when he's back. Grujic is on loan from Liverpool. He's a midfielder who could become a starting midfielder for us this season. Obviously he's only on loan, so I'm not going to prioritise his development because he does not belong to us. Right wing could become a little bit of an issue. Esvine is out there on the right, but there's Solomon Kalou, but there's not a lot else. Matthew Leckie, I guess, but he's out again for a couple of months. We've got quite a few players who are out for quite a few months. We've got to cover that as the squad. We've got a budget of about 7 million. Just over £7 million, which is fine. You can see here I'm trying to bring in Dennis Bergkamp, the former Arsenal player, as my assistant manager, just because I feel like changing it. But in regards to the squad and the backroom setup, I'm not actually planning on making too many alterations to this team. We're not going to rush in. I'm still getting used to this year's game. I don't know particularly who's a wonder kid, a diamond in the rough. I don't know that all yet in terms of transfers. So we're not going to try and go running out and wasting our money. We're going to be quite careful with our budget. We've got some things we can call in here, but we're probably not going to do that. I don't want to give my money away. We're going to take our time with regards to who we're going to buy. I'm scouting a couple of players on the market. Just people who experience Bundesliga players. There's a Jung from Wolfsburg, who I'm scouting to bring an extra right back, and then we might, we'll see, Pekarik maybe in January will be sold or something like that. We'll have to see about that, but nothing's set in stone. Today's just a bit of an overview of the squad, see what we're going to be doing. 4-2, I'm playing around with the tactics. The Gegenpress 4-2-3-1 wide is something we might look to experiment with to see how this works with this team. I don't know. This is just the preset roles for each player. I don't know if that's what we're going to stick with for our own particular players. We may not even stay with this tactic or this style again. It's just experimentation with the beta, which this is, for a couple of weeks. So this save is going to be played. We're going to try and upload it, every couple of days, every day, every couple of days, and we're going to try and get things moving pretty quickly. This save is not going to be a long-term thing. It's not going to be a more than 2 seasons. I would say 2 to 3 seasons. What we can achieve in those 2 to 3 seasons, who knows? I mean, maybe a Bundesliga title is pretty much impossible because of the strength of Bayern and Borussia Dortmund. So the chances of us beating this lot in 2 to 3 seasons time is near on impossible. And Borussia Dortmund are also obviously exceptional as well. So that's not really a realistic objective. Get back into the Europa League, I think, is the objective, as it is in real life. And who knows, maybe try and win a Pokal, a DFB Pokal, the German Cup. Maybe try and do that. I mean, Frankfurt did it last season, so why not Hertha Berlin? Why not get a title, and then we'll hopefully be in a better place to challenge for more titles with other teams in other saves that we do on the channel post beta when the full game is released. But that's just a bit of an overview for today's video about Hertha Berlin and what we're going to be doing with this particular save. If you've got any comments, please do leave them down below, and I'll be happy to read them. And I hope you guys have enjoyed the video, and you can leave a like on it and subscribe to see some more Football Manager 2019 content. Bye for now.